I feel like really like bare because I always wear like long sleeves in my videos, but it's hot. Hopefully I don't get dress coded, right? Because I'm showing my shoulders. Let's get it started and hot. Let's get it started and it. And the bass keeps running, running and running, running and running, running and running, running. And in this context, there's no disrespect. You break your neck. We bout shit out. Everybody, let's get into it. Get stoned. Come on, get started. Did I just say get stoned? Marijuana, motherfucker. Okay, that's enough of that. What's up, you guys? It's Katie, and welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, hi, hey, welcome. For those who have been here, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today, we are going to be going over my summer TBR. I always typically refrain from sharing my TBR or like what's on my radar because I feel like a majority of readers are mood readers, but girl, I am a mood reader, okay? One day I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna read that next. And then the next day I'm like, actually, no, we're gonna do a full 180 and go to a completely different genre. I'm not even gonna touch that book. So take this video with a grain of salt, but these are the books that are on my radar for June, July, and August, okay? I live in the United States, so it is summertime where I'm at. That being said, as you can see behind me, I actually have 15 books that I'm gonna go over with you guys today. These are the books that are at the top of my radar. I don't know how often I'm going to be reading. However, for those who haven't seen my other videos before, I typically read like between 6 to 8 books every month. So I feel like 15 is a good number because it gives me leeway if I don't feel like reading as much as I normally do or whatever. But again, my mood might change and I might not get to all of these books, and that's okay. Last year I read a lot in the summer. Like, I think that my reading wrap up for July and August combined was 23 books if I remember correctly, or something like that. That was crazy. I don't know why I read as much as I did. I mean, I guess you're like outside at the beach or tanning or whatever, so maybe that's why I was reading as much as I was. I don't really know. I also feel like it's important to note that I am currently, or I have been recently, battling a reading slump. Like, I have been reading, but I keep reading halfway through books and then either DNFing it or completely picking up a different book and then forcing myself to finish it later on. Knock on wood though, because I low-key do kind of feel like I am on my way out of the reading slump, but I just wanted to mention that because there is a possibility that your girl's gonna be struggling for the first couple of months of the summer. Okay, I moved all the books over here so then they're easier for me to grab, and then I can put the ones that I review over to my left. The first book that we're gonna be talking about today is none other than Before We Were, which is by Monique Medved, if that's how you pronounce her last name, I'm not sure. This is a childhood friends to lovers type of book. This is also a series, I believe. I think that the third book is actually coming out this summer. I could be wrong about that, but this book I ended up finding from a YouTuber that I actually love watching, and she swore that this was her favorite book of last year. So I immediately was hooked, and I also love childhood friends to lovers, so I feel like this is right up my alley. I'll read the synopsis for you guys. Some love stories are written in the stars. Ours was written in missed chances and almost moments. A girl searching for herself. After 17 summers, I knew I loved the boy with the fractured heart. But we're not kids anymore, and he's no longer just a boy. Nate Sullivan is a storm, and loving him feels like standing in the eye of a hurricane. Beautiful, but destructive. So now I'm faced with a devastating choice, forcing me to question whether love is destiny or just a cruel twist of fate. A boy running from his demons. She was my beginning, my middle, and the end of every good thing I've ever known. But then I went and broke her heart. Now Lenora Wells is back in Eden, and she's not the same girl I remember. And me, I'm barely holding it together. We've been broken in many ways that can't be fixed. Too many mistakes, too many secrets. We don't belong in each other's worlds anymore. But how do you walk away from the one person who feels like home? What if the end was never the end at all, but just the beginning? So yeah, this is like a first love summer type of romance, I'm pretty sure. It is a really long book though. I think this is also an indie book, but I could be wrong about that as well. I don't know. I also really do like the cover. Call me a boomer, call me a millennial, whatever you want. I'm not even either of those things, but I actually do prefer covers that have people on them. I don't really know why. I feel like everything is cartoony nowadays that I kind of want to bring back people on the cover. Call me old-fashioned, whatever. Yeah, obsessed with this, and I'm so excited to read this. I also got a second copy so then my mom can read this and we can kind of buddy read it at the same time. I think she's like 100 pages in already. I have yet to start this, but it will be read. Dude, my hair is so poofy today. It's not okay. The next book that I have is One Italian Summer, which is by Rebecca Searle or Surly. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but this is the same author as In 5 Years, which I don't think that I read that. I think that is there a No, I'm thinking of 5 Feet Apart. Never mind. Forget that. I'm thinking of a different thing. Forget what I just said. Okay. This one I feel like has flown under the radar. I know that this book's kind of popular. I've heard some people talk about this, but I haven't heard that many people talk about it. I'm obsessed with the cover yet again. You guys already know that I do read the synopsis of books, but we love a good cover. Okay. Everybody does. This one doesn't have a person on it, but it's beautiful. I feel like this is a perfect summer read. I think this is a romance, but I'm not entirely sure. I know that sorry, there was someone. Oh, sorry. I forgot to mention, by the way, there is construction that's happening outside. So if you can hear that, hopefully you can't because of my mic. But if you do, I apologize. But that's what's going on over there. Also, if I get distracted, it's probably because I'm looking at them. Anyways, I'm pretty sure this is a romance, or at least there's a romance subplot to it. I could be entirely wrong. Obviously, I haven't read the book. But this is about a woman who lost her mother, and her mother always talked about going to Italy and spending a summer in Italy or something, or just taking a trip there. So once her mother passes away, she ends up taking the trip by herself. And I feel like there's probably going to be a lot of personal development, hopefully, or like personal growth from this girl taking this trip across the country on her own. But regardless, let's read the synopsis. It says, when her mother dies, Katie Silver is left reeling. Carol wasn't just her mom, she was Katie's best friend and her first phone call. Carol had all the answers. To make matters worse, the mother-daughter trip of a lifetime looms. 2 weeks in Positano. I don't know if that's a real city, and I also don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but whatever. 2 weeks in Positano, following the very same route Carol did as a young woman. Oh. Katie had been waiting years for Carol to take her, and now suddenly she is faced with going on this adventure alone. But as soon as Katie steps foot on the Amalfi Coast, things begin to change. She is buoyed by the stunning cliffsides, incredible food, and charming hotel staff. And then the impossible happens. Carol appears for real in the flesh, healthy and sustained. What? Healthy and suntanned and 30 years old. Katie doesn't understand what is happening or how, but over the wait, I'm so confused. Okay. Scratch whatever I was saying earlier, because what? I lost my spot now. But over the course of her time in Italy, Katie gets to know Carol in this new form, and soon she must reconcile the mother she loved with the young woman she is meeting for the very first time. One Italian Summer is a transcendent novel about how we move on after great loss and how the people we love never truly leave us. Okay, never mind. I do think that this is more of like a magical realism type of book, that maybe she's envisioning her mother as she's doing this trip on her own, and her mother actually is dead, but I'm not entirely certain, obviously. But yeah, seems like it's kind of like a magical realism type of vibe. So I think that I was correct with what I said a little bit earlier. But yeah, that's the next one that I want to read. I need to eat something, bro. Dude, Liquid Death, Strawberry Terror. Yeah, that's pretty good. We like that. That shit's bussy. Get in my belly. Y'all ain't ready for this one. Okay, this one, I actually have 2 books that I will be reading at the same time. Can you guess what it is? Yup, I can't hold both of them at the same time, but we have Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas, and then we also have The Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. I am doing the tandem read for this. For those who don't know what these books are, it is the 6th and 7th? No, 5th and 6th, I believe. Something like that. I lost count. These are a part of the Throne of Glass series. I feel like everyone knows that, but if you don't know that, that's okay. These are young adult fantasy novels. You can either read them separately or you can read them at the same time. They both take place during the same timeline, I believe. You just get different point of views. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is. And there is a whole reading order for how to read these simultaneously, which is what I'm going to do. So yeah, I'm kind of nervous for that, but hopefully it doesn't bother me too much. If it does, then I might just separate them, but I honestly think that I have to power through the tandem read because I've heard from almost every single person that I know who has read this series before that I should do the tandem read, so that's what I'm doing. Let's put them down. My literal hand is like, my hand was cramping, so I had to put them down. Technically, the next book is Empire of Storms, and then the book that follows it is Tower of Dawn. But yes, these will be read probably very soon. Honestly, the entire series will probably be read by the end of summer, and I probably will be starting Crescent City by the end of summer as well. At least that's what I'm hoping, because I need to finish her entire universe before ACOTAR 6 comes out in October, at the end of October. I believe it's the end of October. I think it's like October 20-something, 22nd, 21st, something like that. But since these are later on in the series, I'm not going to read the synopsis for you guys because I don't want to spoil anything for you, clearly, for those who haven't read it. I feel like no one actually talks about what this entire series is about, but it's because it's obviously a fantasy and there's so much that goes into into it. This entire series, for those who don't know, is about a top assassin of this entire world. That is the bare minimum that I'm going to give you. You can either start with Assassin's Blade or Throne of Glass. I did start with Throne of Glass, but that's only because I was reading this with my work's book club, and I knew... Girl, I knew I should have started with Assassin's Blade, and I will stand on that hill. Start with Assassin's Blade if you have not started this before. If you start with Throne of Glass, some parts of Assassin's Blade will be spoiled for you. There's multiple different reading orders that you can start with, so whatever. Do whatever you want, but I'm telling you, start with Assassin's Blade. If you don't, that's on you. I started with Throne of Glass, and I regret it because I knew damn well to start with Assassin's Blade based off of everyone else that I know who has read the series, and also everyone on BookTube, for the most part, that I watch has all said to start with Assassin's Blade. I think there's only been a few that have said to start with Throne of Glass, but no, they're tripping. I'm kidding. But at the end of the day, it doesn't actually matter. That's just my opinion. Clearly, there's like different preferences, and there's multiple different ways that you can read this entire series. There's actually a third way that you can read it. I'm not entirely certain what it is, but it's the least popular way to read it. That being said, read it however you want. I'm just giving you guys my own opinion because it's my video, so... If you start with Throne of Glass and then you get something spoiled for you when you get to Assassin's Blade, don't say I didn't warn you, all right? Next up, we have The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. This is a horror. I actually wanted to make this one of my book club's pick this year, and I didn't end up doing that, but I'm going to read this because I've been wanting to read it for a really long time, and I feel like it's a good summer read. I could be wrong, but I actually don't know what this book is about, so we're just gonna read the synopsis for you guys. It says, Crying in H Mart meets My Sister the Serial Killer in this feminist psychological horror about the making of a serial killer from a Korean American perspective. Nice. Jawan's life tumbles into disarray in the wake of her appa's extramarital affair and subsequent departure. Her mother, distraught. Her younger sister, hurt and confused. Her college freshman grades, failing. Her dreams, horrifying, yet enticing. In them, Jawan walks through bloody rooms full of eyes. Succulent blue eyes. Salivatingly blue eyes. Eyes the same shape and shade as George's, who is Uma's obnoxious new boyfriend. He brags about his puffed up consulting job, ogles Asian waitresses while dining out, and acts condescendingly toward Jawan and her sister, as if he deserves all of Uma's fawning adoration. George doesn't deserve anything from her family. Jawan will make sure of that. For no matter how many victims accumulate around her campus or how many people she must deceive and manipulate, Jawan's hunger and her rage deserves to be satiated? Sated? Satiated? I don't know. A brilliantly inventive, subversive. A brilliantly inventive, A brilliantly inventive, holy shit, I cannot speak. Let's just take a second. I think I need to eat. I think that's what the problem here is. My brain isn't getting enough oxygen, I guess. A brilliantly inventive, subversive novel about a young woman unraveling, Monica Kim's The Eyes Are the Best Part makes a bold new voice in horror that will leave readers mesmerized and craving more. Okay, so maybe she's a serial killer? Is that what's going on here? And she doesn't like her sister's boyfriend or something? I don't know. This might be a little bit spooky and a little bit gory, which I kind of am scared for, but I'm obsessed with this cover, and I've heard that this book is really good, so I'm excited for that one. Girl, we might need to take a second to eat because I am starving. My stomach is literally eating itself right now. The next book that's on my radar is The Spectacle, which is by Anna Barrington. This one, I believe, is about a art student or someone who is trying to make it into the art world, and she works her way up the like social ladder, I guess, or like the job ladder. I don't know. Yeah, not entirely sure, but I love any books that have art in it, whether it's an artiste or it's an art student or it's someone who's painting in their free time or whatever. They go to an art studio, they walk around a gallery. Like, I eat that shit up so fast. And I literally found this book because I looked up books that take place in an art gallery. So I've never heard anyone talk about this. I'm sure there's people out there who know what this book is, but I found it on my own accord and I'm excited to read it. Let's read the synopsis though. It says, nobody quite knows who Rudolph, why is his name Rudolph? Okay. Should I be reading this in the summer or should I wait until December? Dad jokes. Oh, okay. Terrible joke. That was a horrendous joke. I'm sorry. It says, nobody quite knows who it's not Randolph, it's Rudolph. Okay. Nobody quite knows who Rudolph Sullivan is or how he ascended so quickly to the glittering top of New York's art scene. When aspiring artist and struggling gallery assistant Ingrid meets the charismatic art dealer at a party, she falls fast for him. Rudolph offers her... Why is his name Rudolph? Like, come on. Should I just say Randolph or Randy? No, that's even worse. Okay, no offense to any Randys out there. She falls fast for him. Rudolph offers her an escape from her humdrum existence. I've never heard anyone use humdrum as an adjective before, but all right, interesting. But Rudolph is hiding more than his dazzling facade lets on. His insatiable tastes and need to keep up appearances have caused skyrocketing debt, and he turns to double dealing to stay afloat. As his adversaries close in, Rudolph plans his most audacious gambit yet. An idealistic Ingrid is at the center of it. This might be a little bit political, honestly. Ironically, even though I love reading about art, I don't know much about like the art scene itself or the life of an artist, but I could imagine that this probably happens in real life, maybe. There's definitely probably someone out there who does this in real life, but it sounds like it's about a young woman who wants to get into the art scene and is a artist on the come up, and she gets taken advantage of by a dude who is at the top of the art scene. I don't want to compare it to this book, but it kind of sounds like in Daisy Hates how they sold knockoff paintings or whatever. It sounds like that's kind of what's going on in here. I don't think that it's going to be similar to that book, but it kind of made me think about that book because of that little connection. Not entirely sure though. I also love that this takes place in New York. I've always dreamt about living in New York. Okay, like ever since I was a young little girl, New York was calling me, specifically Brooklyn. I don't know why. I went to Brooklyn when I was like in middle school for like a class trip once, and it was beautiful. And I still think that it's beautiful. I still think that I would love it there. Maybe someday I'll get there, but that was like one of my childhood dreams. I don't know if that's necessarily my adult dream now that I'm older, but shit's expensive as fuck. So the city is beautiful. Okay, so maybe, who knows? Never say never, right? But this book is chunky. It's 401 pages, so just know that if you're interested in it. It's kind of a big book. I feel like that's kind of an average page number. It's 401. Let's put on my lip gloss, girl. I feel like I do this in every single video. I need more of this. I'm almost out of this. I feel like I never share the lip gloss that I use with you guys. This is Buxom White Russian. Actually, it's White Russian Sparkle. Specifically, it's kind of, is it a lip plumper? Yes, it's a plumping lip polish. It like kind of feels minty, but it's really not that intense. Anyways, whatever. I don't know if people care, but I feel like I always reapply my lip gloss and then I never tell you guys the type of lip gloss that I use, but this is one of my go-tos. Anyways, the next book that I want to read is The Dead of Summer, which is by Ryan LaSala. This is actually a YA, I think it's a thriller slash horror. Sorry, my dog is barking. Hold on, let me make sure that like people aren't here. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. My dog was saying hello to my neighbors who are packing their car. I have no idea what I've already said about this book. This is a young adult thriller slash horror, if I know that correctly. It might be is it a fantasy? I don't really know what genre this is. I think it kind of genre bends. I think this also might be an LGBTQ book, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's read the synopsis instead of guessing. Also, the cover, stunning. We love it. Even though there's a big fat 50% off sticker on there, I don't care. It still sounds good to me. Let's read the synopsis now. It says 2 days before, Ollie Veltman is finally coming home to the quaint island of Anchor's Mercy after a year away while his mom battled cancer. It should be a celebration. His mom is cancer-free and she's determined to have the best summer ever. But Ollie's now ex-best friends think he abandoned them and he's returning with a lot of questions. Because for a place that's perfect on the surface, a secret rots beneath the waves. A secret that could explain his mom's illness and the illness of so many other locals. Ollie's desperate search for the truth turns life or death when a storm descends upon the island. In its wake, a long sunken horror rises. 3 weeks after, Ollie is being held in isolation aboard a military hospital ship in the harbor. They say he's a survivor, but they only know half the story. The truth is more monstrous than Ollie ever believed, and he suspects his saviors aren't here to save anyone. Only Ollie can stop what's coming, but that means getting back to Anchor's Mercy before it vanishes, taking with it everyone he has ever loved. Okay. It sounds like a past and present timeline, kind of, and it definitely sounds like it's like a mixture of genres here. It also kind of sounds science-y, so we love that. I honestly don't know if this is a series or not, but the cover intrigued me, clearly, so that's why I got it. And it definitely sounds like a summary type of book, so I'm excited for it. Okay, the next book that I want to read is The Hacienda, which is by Isabel Cañas, which I actually am so excited for this. I've been waiting so long to read it, and I absolutely love the cover yet again. Like, literally, shut up. This is stunning. I was sold this book by an associate at Barnes. I think it was either last summer or sometime last year, if I remember correctly. And I was picking up Mexican Gothic, which I've never never read either. But an associate came up to me and she was like, if you are interested in Mexican Gothic, I have the perfect book for you that's very similar. And then she showed me the Hacienda and she swore by it. She said that it was a really good summertime read as well for people who like Gothic horror or like, I think it's a thriller as well. I could be completely wrong, but I'm really excited for this one. Let's read the back for you guys. In the aftermath of the Mexican War of Independence, a young woman is certain that her wealthy new husband and his remote estate will save her, but something sinister lurks within the hacienda's walls. During the overthrow of the Mexican government, Beatrice's father was executed and her home destroyed. When handsome Don Rodolfo Solorzano, oh my god. When handsome Don Rodolfo Solorzano proposes, Beatrice ignores the rumors surrounding his first wife's sudden demise, choosing instead to seize the security that his estate in the countryside provides. She will have her own home again, no matter the cost. But Hacienda San Isidro is not the sanctuary she imagined. When Rodolfo returns to work in the capital, visions and voices invade Beatrice's sleep. The weight of invisible eyes follows her every move. Rodolfo's sister, Juana, scoffs at Beatrice's fears. But why does she refuse to enter the house at night? Why does the cook burn copal incense at the edge of the kitchen and mark the doorway with strange symbols? What really happened to the first Doña Solorzano? Beatrice only knows two things for certain. Something is wrong with the hacienda, and no one there will save her. Desperate for help, she clings to the young priest, Padre Andres, as an ally. Oops. Desperate for help, she clings to the young priest, Padre Andres, as an ally. No ordinary priest, Andres will have to rely on his skills as a witch to fight off the malevolent, I don't know how to say that word, I'm sorry, presence haunting the hacienda and protect the woman for whom he feels a powerful forbidden attraction. Forbidden romance, yes. But even he might not be enough to battle the darkness. Far from refuge, San Isidro may be Beatrice's doom. Yeah, this sounds really good. I think that she was onto something when she recommended this to me, so I'm excited to read this. Next up, I have Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This is a dark romance retelling of Captain Hook, or Peter Pan, I guess. I think that it's Peter Pan, but it's the point of view of Captain Hook and like a dark romance with Captain Hook. Could be wrong about that, but I've been wanting to read this for such a long time. This is actually a part of a series as well. It's the Never After series. The reason why I haven't read it yet is just because I wasn't sure if dark romance was my cup of tea. However, for those who have seen my other videos, you know that I'm trying to dip my toes into dark romance this year, and this is definitely one of the top contenders that I want to read. And I feel like it's going to be a good summer read because pirates or whatever, I think he's a pirate. Right, I think he's a pirate. Whatever, it just seems like it's a good summertime read. But let's read the synopsis for you guys. It says, he wants revenge, but he wants her more. James has always had one agenda, destroy his enemy, Peter Michaels. When Peter's 20-year-old daughter, Wendy, shows up in James's bar, he sees his way in, seduce the girl, and use her for his revenge. It's the perfect plan until things in James's organization begins to crumble. Suddenly, he has to find the traitor in his midst, and his plan for revenge gets murkier as James starts to see Wendy as more than just a pawn in his game. Wendy has been cloistered away most of her life by her cold, wealthy father, but a spontaneous night out with friends turns into an intense and addictive love affair with the dark and brooding James. I'm literally already smiling. Yup. Okay. As much as she knows James is dangerous, Wendy can't seem to shake her desire for him. But as the relationship grows more heated and she learns more about the world he moves in, she finds herself unsure if she's falling for the man known as James or the monster known as Hook. Yeah, I feel like I'm really gonna like this one. I feel like people know about this series. Like, I think this is a very popular series, but yeah, I'm really excited for it. Also, the cover's dope, okay? I'm sorry I keep saying the same shit. Same shit. I'm sorry I keep saying the same shit. It's just, we love a good cover. Okay, sorry, to correct myself. We love a good cover and we love a good synopsis with the cover. Okay, double whammy. I can get past an ugly cover if the synopsis is good, but if it's a cute cover and the synopsis sucks, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Next up, we have The Colony, which is by Annika Norlin. And this is a literary fiction that also I feel like is going to be a really good summertime read. I believe that this is about like a community that forms on a camping trip. I think they take a camping trip or they're camping or something and it turns into a community. The cover's like kind of cool, but there's really nothing much to it. It's just an ant, but I'm not mad about the cover. This is a Swedish lit. I've heard great things about this. I honestly have not heard that many things about this book. I think I've only heard one person talk. No, I've heard two people talk about this book. I think that I've heard two people talk about this and both of them loved it. So I'm going in thinking that this shit's gonna be dope. I'm excited. I feel like it's gonna be really good. And I think that it is going to be a good summertime read because I'm pretty sure it's about people who go camping and then they get stuck in the wilderness and they end up forming a colony with other people and like a community, almost like a cult type of thing. Not entirely sure though, so let's read the synopsis so I don't tell you the wrong thing. Okay, it says, Emily, a burnt-out city-wearing journalist, retreats to the woods in search of quiet, only to find an off-grid community living in a radically different way and led by the magnetic Sarah. Drawn into their world, Emily begins to question where the boundary lies between genuine community and coercive control. Winner of several of Sweden's most prestigious literary prizes, The Colony is a darkly funny, strikingly compassionate, and unputdownable debut that overturns every cliche about communal living to reveal a band of misfits who are complex, compelling, and impossible to forget. A riveting exploration of power, belonging, and the families we choose. Yeah, I think that this one's going to be really good, and I'm really excited to read it. Oh wait, it looks like it won 3 different book awards. It says a New York Times Notable Book of 2025, a Booklist Best Novel of 2025, an NPR Best Book of the Year. I don't know if they won those awards, but it says that on the back. Again, this is like a Swedish lit type of book. I've never read, I don't think, a Swedish lit, so this will be my first. Yeah, I'm really excited for it. There you go. It matches my shirt. Honestly, this book's kind of thick. She kind of thick though. Thick boy with 2 C's, okay? It's 422 pages. I feel like that's kind of a normal length of a book, but it looks bigger than it is. Also, look at this flap. Yeah, whatever. Okay, love this. And next up, I have Sirens and Muses, which is by Antonia Angres. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but this is a literary fiction about a young siren, obviously. Kind of like The Spectacle. I think that I found this at the same time because I literally I either looked up mermaid books or I looked up books that pertain to art. I don't know, but I found this bad boy and I'm really excited. I also am obsessed with the cover. I think it's so pretty. Oh, I just dropped it. Oops. Butterfingers. Yeah, I don't think that I've heard anyone talk about this, but it did come out in either 2022 or 2023 or something. I don't think that there's many ratings on Goodreads, but I don't really care because it literally has mermaids in it and it also has art in it. So that's a double whammy for me and definitely up my alley. Let's read the synopsis though. It says, it's 2011. America is in a deep recession and Occupy Wall Street is escalating. But at the elite Wern College of Arts, students paint and sculpt in a rarefied bubble. Louisa Arsenault, or however you pronounce her last name, is a thoughtful, observant 19-year-old when she transfers to Wern as a scholarship student, but she soon finds herself adrift in an environment that prizes novelty over beauty. Complicating matters is Louisa's unexpected attraction to her charismatic roommate, Karina Pionek, the preternaturally gifted but mercurial daughter of wealthy art collectors. Louisa and Karina are drawn into an intense, sensual, and artistic relationship, but Karina also can't shake her fascination with Preston Utley, a senior and internet provocateur, don't know, who is publicly feuding with visiting professor and I can't even, girl, am I even gonna be able to make it through this book? I can't even speak on the synopsis right now. She's so Pete, who is publicly feuding with visiting professor and political painter Robert Berger. Oh my God. A once controversial figurehead seeking to regain relevance. When Preston concocts an explosive hoax, the 4 artists are unexpectedly thrust into the cutthroat New York art world. Now they must struggle to find new identities in art, in society, and among one another. In the process, they have to either discover their most authentic terms of life, of success, failure, and joy, or risk losing themselves altogether. Yeah, okay. Oh wait, it says Donna Tartt's The Secret History meets Meg Woltzer's The Interestings in this entracing portrait of 3 young artists who meet at an elite college at the height of the Occupy movement. Maybe this is gonna be like a political book, I don't know, but I'm still intrigued by it. I think that it sounds really good, even if I butchered some of that synopsis there. It also sounds like it's an LGBTQ plus book. Love that. I will say it doesn't really sound like it's about a mermaid, even though it says sirens and muses. Maybe I was off thinking that. Maybe they mean like siren, like she's like a very sensual person or something. I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out once I read it. Next up, You guys, talk about a big chunky donkey book, all right? We have none other than The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas, or Dumas. This book is thick as hell. Okay, this is a big ass book. It is also a Penguin classic, all right? You guys probably know about this book, or if you don't, then you should. This has been literally all over my For You page, and I really want to read it. I also don't know for certain if it's a summertime read, but it kind of was giving that vibe to me. The cover kind of looks like a summery type of book for some reason. So that's why I want to read it this summer. I'm not even gonna lie though, I probably will listen to this via audiobook. Like, trying to read this, I mean, it's kind of floppy, but I'm gonna be so real. I'm probably gonna listen to this via audiobook, or at least bounce around from both, because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to read this big chunker on my own. People do say that it's pretty easy to read though, kind of like, I feel like East of Eden I was intimidated by because it's pretty long too. This is definitely longer, but East of Eden was pretty easy to read. I've heard that this one's also semi-easy to read, but I guess we'll find out once I dive into it. But yeah, let's read the back for those who don't know what this book is about. It says, the epic tale of wrongful imprisonment, adventure, and revenge in its definitive translation. Thrown in prison for a crime he has not committed, Edmond Dantes is confined to the grim fortress of If. There he learns of a great hoard of treasure hidden on the Isle of Monte Cristo, and he becomes determined to not only escape, but also to use the treasure to plot the destruction of the three men responsible for his incarceration. Dumas's epic tale of suffering and retribution, inspired by a real-life case of wrongful imprisonment, was a huge popular success when it was first serialized in the 1940s. Yeah, I feel like it's long overdue for me to read this book, so I'm finally gonna dip my toes into it. It is definitely one of my top most anticipated reads for this year. I'm really excited for it, but I'm also kind of nervous just because of how big it is, and also since it is about seeking revenge, I'm kind of scared that this might be a little bit toxic, but this is a very beloved book, so I am still excited to read it. And definitely, I feel like it's going to be probably political as well, but that's fine. I mean, but yeah, this is a very beloved book, and I'm excited to finally dip my toes into it. So there's that one. Okay, the next book that I have, I actually don't have a physical copy of. It's currently pending on my Libby to have on my Kindle when the time comes, but it is called Strange Weather in Tokyo by Haruki Kawakami, something of those sorts. I don't have the physical book and I can't look it up right now. It's something along those lines. I'll obviously put it on the screen for you. But yeah, this is a literary fiction. It's a Japanese lit. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is about a young woman who ends up getting involved with either a married man or it might be her professor. I don't know if it's her professor that she ends up having an affair with, or if it's her teacher and she's having an affair with him. I don't know. Something along those lines. And it's about the complexities of that relationship. I think they meet at a grocery store or like a sushi place or something. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'll put it on the screen for you or like clarify if I need to, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's about. I'm really excited for it. I came across it randomly on my own and I'm hoping to read it very soon. But yeah, that's the only one that I don't have on my physical TBR. I am trying to get through my physical TBR before I purchase more books, but any books that I ended up coming across this year that were not already pre-planned out, I'm queuing it up on Libby so then I can read it via my Kindle. Yeah, anyways, there's that one. Okay, you guys, we're almost done. We have a few more, but the next one that I have is With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. This is an adult thriller, and I've definitely talked about this book already on my channel before. I think I got this last year during a book haul, and I was planning on reading it in the fall time, I think, if I remember correctly. I don't know, but then I decided against it. Honestly, I don't know why. I feel like it kind of gives me a summertime vibe as well, or like maybe the end of summer going into fall type of vibe. So maybe this will be an August type of book. But anyways, let's read the synopsis. It says, one train, no stops, a deadly game of survival and revenge. In 1942, 6 people destroyed Anna Matheson's family. 12 years later, she is ready for retribution. What's up with this revenge type of theme going on here with these books? Just kidding. It's literally only The Count of Monte Cristo and then this one. Under false pretense, Anna has lured those responsible for her family's downfall onto a luxury train from Philadelphia to Chicago, an overnight journey of 13 hours. Her goal? Confront the people who've wronged her, get them to confess their crimes, and deliver them into the hands of authorities waiting at the end of the line. Justice will at last be served. But Anna's plan is quickly derailed by the murder of one of the passengers. As the train barrels through the night, it becomes clear that someone else on board is enacting their own form of revenge, and that they won't stop until everyone else is dead. Dude, this dude is just going back and forth with his tractor thing. It's so annoying. With time running out before the train reaches its destination, Anna is forced to hunt the killer in their midst while protecting the people she hates the most. In order to destroy her enemies, she must first save them, even if it means putting her own life at risk. Yeah, I've read a few Riley Sager books now, and I really like his writing style, and his thrillers are normally pretty good, so I'm really excited to read this. Also, I think that this is his most recent release, if I remember correct. I'm pretty sure that it came out last year. It came out in 2025, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me. I don't know if he already came out with another book this year or not, but it doesn't matter. I just thought that I would mention that, but there's that one. Okay, the next one that I have is The Warsaw Orphan, which is by Kelly Reimer, or Reimer. I think it's Reimer. This is an adult historical fiction about an orphan in World War II. I love that it has the ruched edging. I feel like a lot of people don't like ruched edging, but I actually do. I feel like it adds character to the book. This is also very floppy. I've had this one for years now on my physical TBR, just haven't gotten to it yet, but let's read the synopsis for you guys. In the spring of 1942, young Elżbieta Rabinek is aware of the swiftly growing discord just beyond the courtyard of her comfortable Warsaw home. She has no fondness for the Germans who patrol her streets and impose their curfews, but has never given much thought to what goes on behind the walls that contain her Jewish neighbors. Oh. Okay, this one's probably gonna make me cry, dude. She knows all too well about German brutality and that it's the reason she must conceal her real identity. Oh, shit. But in befriending Sarah, a nurse who shares her apartment floor, Elżbieta makes a discovery that propels her into a dangerous world of deception and heroism. Using Sarah's credentials to smuggle children out of the ghetto brings Elżbieta face to face with the reality of the war behind its walls and to the plight of the Gorka family, who must make the impossible decision to give up their newborn daughter or watch her starve. What? For Roman Gorka, this final injustice stirs him to rebellion with a zeal not even his newfound love for Elżbieta can suppress. But his recklessness becomes unwanted attention to Sarah's cause, unwittingly putting Elżbieta and her family in harm's way until one violent act threatens to destroy their chance at freedom forever. Inspired by the real-life heroine who saved thousands of Jewish children during World War II, The Warsaw Orphan follows Elżbieta and Roman's perilous attempt to reclaim the love and life they once knew. From Nazi occupation to the threat of a communist regime, Kelly Reimer has penned her most meticulously researched and emotionally compelling novel to date. Yeah, I feel like this book's probably gonna make me cry, girl. That sounds intense as... It's kind of giving The Boy in the Striped Pajamas mixed with The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Don't quote me though, but that's what it sounds like. It's probably gonna make me cry. I feel like this one sounds more emotionally driven. Not that the other ones weren't. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, the movie, made me sob my eyes out. So I feel like this is probably gonna make me cry as well, just by how that synopsis was written. Yeah. But I'm really excited to read it finally. So there you go. And last up, I have none other than Flawless by Elsie Silver. This is a very popular book. This also has been mentioned on my channel before. This was one of my top priority reads last year, and then I never got around to it, but this is the first book in the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. For those who don't know, this is a cowboy romance series, and it's very beloved on the internet. I've actually never read a cowboy romance before, so this will be my first one, but I'm so excited to dive into this. I hope that it's as good as everyone's saying that it is, and also as good as the synopsis sounds, because I remember when I read the synopsis for the first time, I was aghast. I was beyond myself. But that being said, let's read it for you guys, for those who didn't see my other video of me reading it. Here we go. The rules were simple. Keep his hands off his agent's daughter and stay out of trouble. But now he's stuck with her, and there's only one bed. And well, rules are made to be broken. Rhett Eaton is the face of professional bull riding, the golden boy, or at least he was until it all blew up in his face after a public brawl. Now his agent says he has to clean up his image and sticks Rhett with his ball-busting daughter for the rest of the season as full-time supervision. But Rhett doesn't need a goddamn babysitter. Especially one with skin-tight jeans, a sexy smirk, and a mouth she can't stop running. A mouth he can't stop thinking about. And he quickly learns that Summer Hamilton isn't just another conquest. She sees the man behind the mask, and she doesn't run. She pulls him closer even when she shouldn't. Summer says this means nothing. Rhett says this means everything. I'm not even done with the synopsis. I'm just getting so giddy. Okay. She says there are boundaries they shouldn't cross, that Rhett's reputation can't take any more hits, and neither can her damaged heart. Rhett says he's going to steal it anyway. Oh my god, girl, I'm so excited to read this. I feel like it's gonna be so good. Don't you think it's gonna be so good, Mai? Thank you. God, I can't. This just sounds so good. It's forbidden romance. They literally said there's only one bed. I can't. I'm so excited to read this. I feel like I'm gonna eat this shit up. Also, I love their names, Rhett and Summer. Yeah, beautiful. Love that. Yeah, I'm so excited to read this. I'm finally jumping on the bandwagon. We'll see if it's worth the hype. It sounds like it will be, so let's hope. Here's to hoping. That's the last book that I have for you guys today. Okay, you guys, that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm not even gonna try and hold this bad boy up because these are thick ass books and they would probably topple over if I tried to pick them up. But yes, these are all of the books that I hope to read this summer. There's definitely other books that are on my radar as well, but these are the main ones that I'm hoping to get to at least. I really wanna know what everyone else is reading, so be sure to leave a comment down below of what your top anticipated read is for this summertime, or if you're not in the summertime, that's okay too. What's a book that you're looking forward to reading within the next couple of months? I might add it onto my docket. Yeah, I mean, no promises, but I might. I'm definitely gonna be peeping those books if you guys put them in the comments. Anyways, I also didn't mention my book club picks for this summer either. I do have a book club on Fable for those who don't know, and for those who are interested in joining. It's free to join. You don't have to. You totally don't have to, but I just want you guys to know that it does exist if you're interested. Our June pick is Meet the Newmans by Jennifer Niven. I am so excited to read this one. This has been a highly anticipated read for 2026 as well, and I am so excited to dive into that. I do have July and August prepped as well, but I'm not going to tell you guys those books. Obviously, you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait until the 1st of July and the 1st of August to find out what those bad boys are. Anyways, I'm going to quit yapping. I probably should walk my dog because she's been barking this entire time. Clearly, she either needs to play or go on a long walk, or maybe she needs a treat. I don't know, but I'll figure it out. I also could use a treat myself because I'm really fucking hungry right now. We're going to leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Au revoir. Mwah. Bye. But yeah, we're gonna leave it there. There's no way. But yeah, we're gonna leave it. There's no way. Myla.
What are you doing? You're disrupting my outro.
All right, thank you. I'm getting overstimulated. Right now. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'm fucking overstimulated and I'm sweating. It's fucking hot. I feel literally bare right now because I normally cover my shoulders. Everybody likes a little bit of shoulder. Stop that. And that's all she wrote, motherfucker. And we're already out of liquid death here. Mai, you wanna go on a walk? Yeah, she do. I need to eat.